Good morning, friends. I want to tell you a little story about last night when I was reading. So, I'm reading this book and I have been reading it over spring break and then in free time that I've had this week. And I am like almost to the end of the book. And I was like so interested because it's kind of a thrilling book. So, you don't really know what's going to happen next. But what I found myself doing was making predictions at the end of the book, which is so crazy because sometimes we think we can only make predictions at the beginning of a book or maybe even in the middle. But what I found my brain doing was making predictions at the end, like, oh my gosh, I bet that this person is going to find this person. And I was just going on and on and on. So today I want to remind you that readers make predictions before, during, and after reading. We do this because we always need our brains to be thinking about what might come next. It really, really helps our brains to engage and always be thinking about the text because we know that real reading is reading and thinking at the same time. So I have a book for you today that I'm going to read. And it's one book that you might have heard before. Maybe you haven't, but this book is called Beagle. Well, it's really called The Adventures of Beagle. And I want you to look at the cover with me real fast. We talk about that something that readers do is they make predictions before reading. And I noticed that this character, Beagle, he looks a lot different than the other characters, right? But also when I look at the other people, they look like they're not paying any attention to him. So my prediction for right now, for the beginning of the text, is that no one's going to pay attention to Beagle. So I'm going to put that right here. All right, this is written by Dan Santat, and we did get permission from the publishers to be able to read this book to you. All right. He was born on an island far away where imaginary friends were created. Here they lived and played, each eagerly waiting to be imagined by a real child. Every night he stood under the stars, hoping for his turn to be picked by a child and given a special name. He waited for many nights. But his turn never came. His mind filled with thoughts of all the amazing things that were keeping his friend from imagining him. So rather than waiting, you might be making predictions right now too. He did the unimaginable. He sailed through unknown waters and faced many scary things, but thinking about his friend gave him the courage to journey on. Until he reached the real world. The real world was a strange place. No kids were eating cake. No one stopped to hear the music. And everyone needed nap time. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I was kind of right. Based on my prediction at the beginning, I can check it and think, yeah, people are ignoring him. But I'm now making a new prediction. I'm predicting that Beagle's going to have to do a little bit more to make a new friend. Doesn't seem like it's going to be so easy for him. So I wrote that sticky note. I'm going to put that right there in my book. Then he finally saw something familiar, so he followed. He had a good feeling about this place, but he looked everywhere and he could not find his friend. He climbed to the top of a tree and looked out, wishing and hoping his friend would come. But no one came. He thought about how far he'd come and how long he'd waited, and he felt very sad. Then he heard a noise below. Hello? Her face was friendly and familiar, and there was something about her that just felt right. At first, they weren't sure what to do. Neither of them had made a friend before. But after a little while, they realized they were perfect together. He says, Beagle, Beagle. Hi, Beagle. Beagle and Alice had many new adventures. They shared their snacks. They told funny jokes. The world began to feel a little less strange. And together, they did the unimaginable. The end. So we know that readers make predictions before reading, during reading, and after reading. So Beagle and Alice, they found each other finally, and it sounds like they made perfect friends. I predict that they're going to be friends forever. Is it okay to not know? Is it okay to not know if a prediction comes true? Absolutely. But it's always good to keep predicting. Okay? So today, as you're reading, you're going to choose a new book, a book you've never read before. And what I want you to do is I want you to do kind of just what I did. You're going to find a book, and at the beginning of a book, I want you to look at the cover, think about the beginning, and I want you to record yourself making predictions. You're going to do the beginning. Then I want you to record yourself reading through the book, probably a picture book that's not too long, and find at least one place to make a prediction while you're reading. Then, after you're done reading, make another prediction. After you do this and you record yourself, there's going to be a place in Schoology for you to add your recording. It's probably going to be on a discussion post so that other people can see you reading your book and making your predictions, because we know that the best way we learn is from each other. So as a reminder, readers make predictions before, during, and after a text. That's how we become expert readers, okay? I can't wait to see what kind of reading you do this week. Enjoy your books.